Behavior as a response to pain. So we've already spoken, when pain is ignored, it does not disappear. It transforms into behavior. This is the real key understanding here. Because I just want you to look at a practical example. When you have pain, what is the behavior? To not experience the pain again. Pain, especially systemic pain, does not always show itself as direct emotions. Instead, it finds indirect ways to surface, often through behaviors that seem unrelated on the surface, but are actually coping mechanisms. These behaviors are the psyche's attempt to manage, suppress, or escape from unresolved suffering. This happens for several reasons. First of all, there's a survival instinct. The nervous system is wired for protection. If pain was overwhelming in the past, whether for an individual or their ancestors, the system develops behavioral strategies to avoid experiencing that pain. Makes sense, doesn't it? Then there's the inherited fear response. If an ancestor experienced betrayal, war, or displacement, their descendants might inherit an unconscious fear of connection, stability, or success. And then there's the unconscious loyalty. Children unconsciously repeat their family's unresolved patterns out of love and loyalty, often believing, if I suffer like them, I belong. The need to belong is so powerful. So the question arises, how does pain shape behavior? We often assume our habits and reactions are simply part of our personality. But many behaviors are not personal. They are survival strategies, deeply rooted in systemic pain. Let's explore some common patterns and what they reveal. Perfectionism, the illusion of control. Emma is a high achiever who pushes herself relentlessly. She feels an overwhelming need to be perfect in everything, her career, her home, even her relationships. But no matter how much she accomplishes, she never feels good enough. What's happening? Emma's perfectionism isn't just a personality trait. It is a response to systemic pain. Her grandmother grew up in extreme poverty and was constantly criticized for not doing enough. The family's unspoken message became, only by working hard and being perfect can you be safe. Emma unconsciously carries this belief, fearing that if she makes a mistake, she will be rejected or unworthy. So if she ignores this, if Emma never addresses the root cause, she will continue chasing perfection, risking burnout, anxiety, and chronic stress. Her body may start to break down, forcing her to stop through illness or exhaustion. It's sad. Let's look at another example. Avoiding relationships and the fear of loss. David struggles with relationships. Whenever someone gets too close, he finds an excuse to pull away. He tells himself, He enjoys being alone, but deep down, he longs for connection. So, what's happening? David's fear of relationships is not random. His great grandfather lost his wife and children during wartime and never recovered from the grief. That loss was never spoken about in the family. Generations later, David unconsciously carries this fear. If I love deeply, I will lose them. Remember that this is unconscious, it's the way we behave. By avoiding intimacy, which is now the behavior, he unconsciously tries to prevent the pain that isn't even his own. And so, if he were to ignore this without awareness, David might live his life emotionally disconnected, struggling to form deep bonds. He may experience feelings of loneliness, even when surrounded by people, repeating the isolation from past generations. Overachievement, the unconscious need for worth. So let's look at Sarah, who feels an intense drive to succeed. She always takes on more work than she can handle, feeling guilty when she rests. She believes she must constantly prove herself. So what's happening? Sarah's ancestors lived through hardship where survival depended on proving one's worth, whether through labor, obedience, or sacrifice. The systemic message passed down, you must work hard to be valuable, is active in Sarah. Even though Sarah no longer lives in survival conditions, the belief remains active. So what if she ignores this? If Sarah doesn't recognize the root cause of this pattern, she risks physical burnout, chronic fatigue, and an inability to enjoy success because she never feels like she has earned it. Then let's look at the example of self-sabotage, the fear of success. James has had many opportunities for success, but he always finds a way to fail at the last moment. He blames bad luck, but the pattern keeps repeating. So what's happening? James's great uncle was once a successful businessman who lost everything due to betrayal. The family never spoke about him, but the subconscious message remains. Success leads to downfall. James carries an unconscious fear that if he rises too high, he will suffer the same fate. And if he ignored this, James will continue to sabotage his opportunities, never realizing why he cannot break through. Over time, this could lead to frustration, depression, or a sense of helplessness. What if pain speaks through the body? Not all pain transforms into visible behavior. Sometimes it speaks through the body itself. Chronic illness, fatigue, migraines, and digestive issues are often physical expressions of unresolved trauma. The body remembers what the mind forgets. A woman with chronic pain might be carrying the burden of an ancestor who shouldered too much responsibility. A man with frequent throat infections might have an ancestral history of silenced voices and unspoken truths. Or a child with unexplained anxiety might be sensing an unresolved trauma from past generations. Let's look at the path to healing by breaking the cycle. How can we, as systemic coaches and healers, help clients break free? Recognizing the pattern. Ask, is this truly mine? Or am I carrying it for someone in the family system? Acknowledge the pain with respect, not with judgment. Acknowledge the pain with respect by saying, I see this suffering. It belongs to my ancestor and I honor it. But it's not just saying it, we got to actually get to it, unburden it before we can say it. Release inherited burdens. Through guided systemic exercises, clients can symbolically return what does not belong to them. And then we integrate a new way of being. Once the systemic root is addressed, clients can create new behaviors that serve them rather than repeating old survival strategies. Pain is not meant to be a lifelong prison. It is a message seeking acknowledgement. By understanding behavior as a response to systemic pain, we empower ourselves and our clients to transform suffering into healing. Join me in the next lesson where we will explore how to recognize systemic pain in clients through powerful questioning techniques. See you there.